I couldn't say no to a social event. Why? So why was I saying yes to things I wanted to say no? I didn't realize that I was trying to keep the peace. I was trying to maintain a sense of safety. Listen, if you've got people pleasing behaviors, if you seek approval, if you've got a bit of the nice guy in you, it can really help to learn that these behaviors are an expression of stress. So one way we want to look at reducing these behaviors, the seeking approval, the inauthenticity that we bring to the world in order to get something back, which is approval. It's always a form of approval. It's an expression of, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in my body. Now, consciously, you might not be aware of this, but unconsciously, this is what's going on. You don't feel safe. Now, if you felt safe, if you felt grounded and secure, and I'm sure there's times where you do, and in those times, you don't seek approval, right? But then there's times where these behavior patterns start coming back, and you don't know where they're coming from, but they're coming back. And then you catch yourself holding back your truth, even saying things that aren't true to you. That could be like a political opinion, or just agreeing with what people are saying. Saying yes to social engagements when you really mean no. That was a big one for me. That was a hard one, because so much of who I was a performance in order to maintain safety through connection. And then there was like an awakening moment years ago where I was invited out on a night, and I went to say no, and I said yes to the invite, but I wanted to say no, and I went to say no, and the word yes came out. I don't know the actual word yes, but the words were, yeah, I'll come out. And I gained some awareness over my patterns. Now, back then I wasn't into self-development. I didn't really know about what was going on. And it was a few more years till I realized what that was. But in that moment, there was a shift. There was a seed that was dropped in my mind. It just took a little while for that seed to blossom into something more noticeable, right? And that was, I couldn't say no to a social event. Why? So why was I saying yes to things I wanted to say no? I didn't realize that I was trying to keep the peace. I was trying to maintain a sense of safety through having the people around me be regulated in their nervous system, to not be disapproving or be upset or pissed off or annoyed with me. And then therefore I can maintain a sense of safety based on that approval, which is really coming from a regulated nervous system of the other person. So if you have these behavior traits, they came from years ago when we had to adopt these expressions and ways of relating in order to keep the peace. And now we're adults and we don't even know we're doing it half the time. Becoming aware is such an important and hugely beneficial thing to do, to be aware of these patterns. And I get caught out now, because there's usually more to uncover. We think, I've healed this area now, because I can say no very easily now. I don't need to explain myself or apologize or make myself small when I when I say no to an invite. I don't need to explain myself. And that's great. it frees up my time to do what I want to do. And sometimes that's going out and agreeing to invites. I can express my political opinions most of the time. I caught myself out the other weekend when my friends were, I'm not going to go into what it was, but they had very different political opinion about me. And I noticed that it didn't feel safe to speak my truth in that moment. And I didn't really catch it until later, and I realized I held back. So that was interesting. Now, it's rare that I don't catch myself in those moments, but it goes to show that there's a lot going on in the unconscious mind that we're maybe not aware of, and that was one thing for me. So when I'm in that situation again, and I'm faced with the people around me having a very different opinion to me, I'm going to make it's my mission to start speaking my truth more. And so why wouldn't I? Well, it goes down to, if I were to express my difference of opinion around people who have very firm political belief about something, the more someone holds on to an idea, especially in politics, the more the opposite of that idea they consider to be very wrong and bad. So if I were to disagree with them and be on the other side, they would consider me bad, and that would trigger their nervous systems. That might make them angry. It might make them afraid. They might try and shame me. They might turn themselves away from me and essentially abandon me, right? Reject me by shutting their emotions down. These are all the things that we're avoiding when we're being nice, when we're not being authentic. We're avoiding triggering the people around us. And it's a big thing, guys. If you have these behavior traits, like I say, it's an expression of stress in the nervous system. This is why people with ADHD, they tend to have these traits, because ADHD is an expression of stress in the nervous system, as is anxiety, depression, pretty much all of the I think all of the mental health conditions come from an expression of stress to the nervous system. So what to do about it? Well, like I say, awareness, 1, 2, intention. Do you have an intention to be someone other than the nice guy that you're living your life from? And if you don't, then I really recommend getting clear on what you want instead. Because if you're just looking at your nice guy behaviors, wondering why you do it, you're giving that your energy. You want to give your energy to what you want to see grow, and you don't want to see your people-pleasing behaviors grow, right? You want to put your energy into what you want instead. And that's the authentic man. And the authentic man lives within you. He lives within all of us. And the authentic man can come out when we put our energy onto him. Essentially, our awareness is our energy. Our energy flows through awareness. So where are you putting your energy? Are you putting it on your nice guy? Are you putting it on your people-pleasing, your approval-seeking? Or are you putting it on the authentic man that lives within you that you had to hide long ago? When you start putting your awareness on him, the authenticity, you'll start seeing that grow. Now, going back to what I was talking about with my friends, when I used to say yes to everything, there came a point where I had to start saying no. And it was challenging. It was really hard because my friends weren't used to it. My friends were used to me agreeing to everything, going along with everything and saying yes. And then in me saying no, I was triggering their rejection wounds. And also, they wanted me to be out with them because I would always be out with them. And then suddenly I'm not, and I'm choosing something different. That's going to trigger them. That trigger made me feel uncomfortable. So often I would go out. Even though I was saying no, I would often say yes when I meant no, because I needed to maintain the connection with them, because that's where I got my safety from. I got my safety from the connection. Now, it's not like a bad or wrong trait to have. It's really not. And we want to steer clear from beating ourselves up from having it. I know that there's guys on YouTube that go down that route. It's kind of like shock tactics, and they will kind of talk like they're like a stern father, kind of in an emotionless way, to suggest that it's bad, it's wrong, and it will trigger you, and it's more likely for you to, do some coaching with them or something. But the reason why we have these tendencies is because of the way we were talked to. And so now it's your opportunity to talk to yourself in a acceptable, loving way. And that is you whole, complete, and perfect just as you are, even in your nice guy tendencies. Now, in giving yourself that self-approval, you literally create more safety within your nervous system that's going to allow you to be more real with people, because as you develop more safety within, you need it less from outside. You need it less from connections. And as you need it less from connection, just now triggering other people doesn't cause so much harm within. You're free to speak your truth and allow other people to be triggered by it. And if you can heal the wounds that tell you you're bad when you trigger someone, then you can just let people be affected in whatever they want about your authenticity. And it means nothing about you. It means it's only about them. And if you're really caught up in the nice guy patterns, you'll see that as a bad behavior. You'll see people being real and triggering others through their realness as being bad, maybe even narcissistic, which is so far from the truth. Because the narcissist doesn't care about other people. Now, if you're the nice guy, you do care about others, but a lot of your niceness is done to get something back in return. But you can be your true, authentic self without holding back. You can speak your truth, so long as you're not doing it to offend others. That's number one. You don't want to do it purposely to piss people off, because then you're coming from the asshole jerk. That's another expression of stress to the nervous system that creates disharmony wherever he goes in order to maintain some kind of safety in that, because connection feels uncomfortable, right? It's like push and pull. The nice guy is more like pulling with his need for connection, its neediness. The asshole jerk is like pushing away. I don't want connection. I don't like people. Push them away. The authentic man is real. He still cares and loves others, but he's not going to allow their traumas and their triggers to affect his self-expression. To the authentic man, that's crazy. Why would he do that? It's not healthy. In holding back your truth, guys, you're creating stress to your nervous system. It's creating dysregulation. We live in a very overly stimulated world. This expression is coming from the overstimulation of your nervous system. You've got to look to start bringing the stress in your nervous system down. You really want to start relaxing deeply. You want to start meditating. You want to do grounding. You want to do embodiment. Embodiment's such a powerful tool for this, because it allows us to come out of the mind and into the body, where we can regulate the nervous system, where we feel safe. The unsafety you feel is coming from dysregulation to your nervous system. Just know that it's okay to have these tendencies, and know that beating yourself up isn't going to get rid of them. Know that just accepting you are where you're at in life, everything's okay, and having a firm intention to create a more authentic version of you is going to put you in real good stead to literally bringing this version of you out into the world. Because he's there, I promise you he's there. He's always been there. He's living under the surface because you pushed him down when he didn't get your connection needs met. Now it's time to let him out. Now it's time to allow the real you to impact others. And you're going to impact them in a positive way because of your realness. It's going to create deeper connections, deeper relationships, which is what you're wanting. But it might push people away. And that's where the real work comes in. Because for most nice guys, when they trigger others, they will go back to suppressing the authenticity again to maintain the connection. But you get that connection from within, you start feeling safer, boom, you can start being yourself again. For a lot of us, a lot of guys, they don't even know who their real self is. I mean, there's always layers of the onion to uncover, right? I mean, we can go deep into who the real self is, but that's for another video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my content. This is going to be a new style of video for me moving forward. I really want to work with guys with these nice guy personas because this is true to my heart. I know how it feels. I know how to overcome them, and do follow for more. Thanks for watching.